What up, Timmons here. Now, here is my Throwback segment where I talk about the films that turned 10, 20, 30, and 40 this week. Alright, the films celebrating their 10th anniversary, we got Clint Eastwood's Jersey Boys. Now, Jersey Boys, of course, is based on a very popular Broadway show of the same name, which is, of course, tells the story of the musical group Four Seasons, including original band members Frankie Valli and Bob Garillo, who composed the original film's music, served as music exec producers. You also had the likes of Christopher Walken, John Lloyd Young, Vincent Palazza, and many others. You had some really cool cast members, and this is of course like Clint Eastwood's first ever musical that he directed, and he did a really good job with this. Like, this is really music I feel like no one barely talked about since its release. Just came and went. It's actually a really good one. I mean, really like a mafia type musical film. Of course, iconic songs like "Walk Like a Man" and everything. I mean, I really had fun time with this one a lot. Like, it's such a shame it did not really get recognition it deserves and all. And it's a really decent one. Like, this was a of course at the time Clint Eastwood did like not one but two films. Like, besides this, he also did American Sniper the same year as well. And it's always cool seeing Clint Eastwood. Like, Clint Eastwood's in his 90s, and already he has a new film coming out this year, which I believe is a jury number 7. I don't know when that's coming out or not, but and Clint Eastwood is the man. Like one of those iconic actors, directors of all time, and Jersey Boys definitely under the radar there. All right. Also turning 10, we got Think Like a Man 2, the follow to 2012's Think Like a Man, which of course is based on the self help book by Steve Harvey, starring legs of Kevin Hart, Micah Ealy, Jerry Ferrara, Megan Good, Taraji P. Henson, Dennis Haysbert, Gabrielle Union, Romani Malco, Wellington Covered, a fun cameo by the likes of Floyd Mayweather and Carl Weathers. You even had a cameo by Drake. Yeah, this is the follow to the 2012 film, which I actually quite enjoyed. Kevin Hart was great in that. You also had Wendy Williams was also in that one too. And this time around, you have a group of close friends who applied a relationships advice from a book by Steve Harvey in in their own romantic entanglement. And Dominic, once again played by Ely, and the rest of his band of brothers, were well on their way to everlasting love with their women in their lives. However, when all of the couples reunite in Vegas for one's wedding night, a series of compromising situations trends to like pretty much details not only the big event but also the survival of everyone love life here. And it's not as good as the first film, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was as charming. The chemistry between like Kevin Hart, Mike Ealy, like they were all really good here. Not a bad follow up. I'm not expecting them to decide to do a third one though. But anyway, all right. Now film turning 20 this week. We got some big ones here. We got Around the World in 80 Days, which was directed by Frank Karachi, who gave us the Adam Sandler movies such as The Wedding Singer, Click. You had the likes of Jackie Chan, Jeff Broadbent, um, Mark Addy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kathy Bates. I believe this was actually Arnold's like last movie he did before he became governor of California. Believe it or not. Uh, and it is, of course, based on the Jules Verne 1873 novel of the same name, as well as the movie of the same name as well. And you got Jackie Chan, Steve Coogan, and it's set in the 19th century and centers on his Chinese and during the during his efforts around the world, it centers on Phyllis Fogg, played by Coogan, as he reimagines as an eccentric inventor and his efforts to Shizurgen gave around the globe in 80 days, and during the trip, he is accompanied by his Chinese valet, played by Jackie Chan. And for comedic reasons, the film intentionally developed wildly from the novel and included a number of anarchist elements. It was also a box office failure and whatever. I admit I was never a fan of this one. I mean, the original is a really good one. I mean, I believe the original actually won Best Picture, if I'm not mistaken. But nothing about this. I love Jackie Chan. I love Steve Coogan, but some of the cast members, I mean, they were a little wasted in this. You had some fun cameos too. Like you had, Kathy Bates even was in this. You also had Ian McNeice, Owen Wilson, Rob Schneider has a cameo in this. Luke Wilson, but it really wasn't all that funny in my opinion. Definitely one of the few comedies I was not a fan of at the time, and yeah, I mean, I believe this also scored a couple of Razzes if I'm not mistaken. So there's that show. All right. Also, 2020, we got Dodgeball, a true underdog story. Now, if you guys don't know, they're also doing a sequel to this. That was announced, I believe, last year or the year before that. When are we getting that sequel? Beyond me. But the original Dodgeball from 2004, directed by Ross and Marshall Derber, who will go on to direct, speak of Kevin Hart, he will go on to direct Central Intelligence, Skyscraper, We're the Millers, and many other really interesting stuff. And oh yeah, he also did a Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. So many people dislike Red Notice. I had a fun time with that. Now, Dodgeball also stars the likes of Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, Rip Torn, of course, one of the most iconic lines of "If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball." One of the most iconic film lines there is. Of course, Ben Stiller playing the villain. Justin Long was in this. Chuck Norris playing himself. David Hasselhoff, Lance Lance Armstrong, and is of course a sport comedy that follows a group of unlikely misfits and who enter a Vegas dodgeball tournament in the hopes of winning 60,000 to save their cherished gem. And of course, you have Beth Stiller playing the villain. It's so really funny that both Vince Vaughn and Beth Stiller that same year both played a hero villain with one another on that same year. In Starsky and Hutch, you had Vince Vaughn playing the villain to Starsky to Ben Stiller, and here you had Ben Stiller playing the villain to Vince Vaughn. So I gotta find that to be a little reverse and all. But yeah, this is a really hilarious one. 2004 was a great year for comedies, and Dodgeball was one of them. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Dodgeball, do yourself a favor, go watch it. I mean, I'm hoping they go ahead and do that sequel because I mean, I don't know if the jokes for Dodgeball could really land today, but I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel. To be honest, yeah. So, all right. Now, also 2020. Now, I love Steven Spielberg, but not everything he put out turns to gold. And the film 2020 this year is The Terminal. Arguably one of Steven Spielberg's worst film, in my opinion. You had the likes of Tom Hanks, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Stanley Tucci, Diego Luna, Zoe Saldana, and the film is about an Eastern European man who is stuck in New York's JFK airport terminal when he is denied entry in the U.S. and is and at the same time he's unable to return to his native country because of a military grouping on. So the whole movie takes place just at terminal airport. It's it's just not so good. It's not all that funny. It just script wasn't so great. This is definitely Steven Spielberg's bad day in the office, in my opinion. So yeah. All right. Also turning 20, we got Grand Theft Parson, which stars Johnny Knoxville, Christina Applegate, Micah Shannon, Robert Foster, Molly Shelton, and where the deaf singer Graham Parsons prompts Phil Kaufman to fulfill a promise in a black comedy Unwise, with Kaufman bring Motori Purcell renting psychotic hearse from Larry Oscarberg and trekking across the Southern California desert, uh, pursued by the white by Parsons' ex girlfriend with Kaufman girlfriend and Parsons' stepfather. And this is actually, not a great film, but it's actually a lot of fun here. Definitely really cool dark comedy with Johnny Knoxville. Really showcased that Johnny Knoxville could do more than just straight up comedies and this stuff. Christina Applegate was pretty good in this. Not a bad little film, if you guys haven't seen that. All right, now the film celebrating their 30th anniversary, arguably one of the greatest and pretty much my favorite anime movie of all time, and that is The Lion King. You know, of course, featuring the voice talents of Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons. Standing like the kingdom of lions in Africa, the Lion King tells the story of Simba, a lion cub who is to succeed his father Mufasa as like the king of the Pride Lands. But when his paternal Uncle Scar kills Mufasa to seize the throne, Simba, is of course pretty much tricked into believing like he was responsible for his father's death, and of course you got Timon and Pumbaa in this, some of the most iconic music of all time. Elton John did the music. Lion King is just one of the greatest anime movies of all time, in my opinion. It's so like if the let me just say if the animation best anime category was and out like was first launched like around the time, I guarantee you the Lion King would have won best anime feature because it is one of the greatest anime films there is. This should have been the second anime film to get like nominated for best picture. By the way, like Beauty and the Beast was cool, but I think Lion King's the better film in my opinion. I mean, I still like remember first watched this as a kid. Like my first Halloween costume was a Simba costume, believe it or not. Uh, and I mean, Lion King really holds a place in my heart. And I also did not mind the 2019 remake. I know so many people poo poo on it, whatever, but I actually had a fun time with the 2019 one. I'm actually looking forward to check out Mufasa when that premieres. I know there's people who are still poo pooing on Mufasa. I cannot wait for Mufasa. So it's good. Like, who doesn't look? But obviously, nothing beats the original Lion King, right? All right. Also turning 30, we got the movie Wolf, which is a horror film directed by Mike Nichols, who also did The Graduate. So interesting resume for him. He also had the likes of Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Spader, Elaine Atkins, David Hyde Pierce. And if you guys don't know much about the story, this it's where like after being bitten by a wolf in rural Vermont, aging book editor Will Randall, played by Jack Nicholson, finds himself full of youthful vigor. Randall, of course, then discovers that he's been fired and replaced by Stuart Swinton, played by James Spader, a vicious young executive. As Randall struggles to regain his position, he becomes embroiled with Lance Eldon, played by Pfeiffer, his former boss's daughter, and as increasingly animal urges begins to overwhelm him, Randall worries that he may also become a werewolf. And this is a really decent little horror film. Jack Nicholson was really great in this. Like seeing him becoming a werewolf is really fun to watch. Michelle Pfeiffer, of course, funny seeing both Michelle Pfeiffer and Jack Nicholson in this because of you know obviously they've actually worked together before in The Witch of Eastwick, but they're also villains in Tim Burton Batman movies. Like Jack Nicholson was the Joker and Batman, while Michelle Pfeiffer became Catwoman in Batman Returns. I kind of find funny that they're both working together and all, but it is a really decent horror film to watch if you guys haven't seen that. All right, also turning 30, we got Getting Even with Dad, which is directed by Harry Deutsch, who of course is best known for directing the classic Pretty in Pink. He also had the likes of Ted Danson, Macaulay Culkin. Of course, this was at a time where Macaulay Culkin was really trying to branch out as a child actor, following the Home Alone films. And Getting Even with Dad stars Ted Danson as conman Ray Gleason, who of course at the time was coming off of the classic TV show Cheers. But he is of course going for one last heist, a stash of rare coins, when his estranged son Timmy, played by Macaulay Culkin, unexpectedly shows up. Ray is too busy with his robbery to spend much time with his son, as Timmy decides to blackmail Ray into acting like a father. He of course hides the coins and promises him to give them back to Ray, who takes him to amusement parks and baseball games. All while Detective Teresa Walsh, played by the late Glenn Headley, is also closing in on Ray. And this is not really that great of a film, but it's more of a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's not like Macaulay Culkin's best work, nothing like that, but I do like the father son chemistry with Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin. Uh, Again, Macaulay Culkin was really trying to shine away from that Home Alone life. Of course, at the time he was doing stuff like The Good Son, Richie Rich, and all. And this was, of course, another one of the films that he was trying to get away from the Home Alone life. And while it's not as funny or as memorable as Home Alone, it definitely has its moments. So not a bad little film if you guys haven't seen it. All right. Now the film celebrating their 40th anniversary. We of course got The Karate Kid, one of the most iconic sport movies of all time. The Karate Kid, of course, stars the likes of Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, where, of course, Italian American teenager Danny LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, from New Jersey, moves with his widowed mother in a residential neighborhood of Los Angeles. There, LaRusso encounters harassment from new bullies, one of whom is, of course, Johnny Lawrence, the ex-boyfriend of LaRusso's love interest, Allie Mills, played by Elizabeth Shue. As a result, LaRusso is taught karate by handyman and war veteran Mr. Miyagi, played by Pat Moretta, the late great Pat Moretta. And I mean, Karate Kid is one of the most iconic movies of that era. Of course, one of the most iconic music of "You're the Best Around." Uh, Obviously the iconic line of "Wax on, wax off." The chemistry between Pat Moretta and Macho is great. Like it's always also really great that on with the Karate Kid, with them always paying tribute to Miss Miyagi. I mean, Cobra Kai, by the way, is excellent. I cannot wait for the new season of Cobra Kai. Which the new season of Cobra Kai is set to premiere next month, and of course, supposed to then there's supposed to be a second half premiering in in November, then a third half. I mean, they're pretty much cutting episodes there, but still, nothing still beats the original Karate Kid. I mean, one of the most iconic, the iconic tournament, between the fight scene with LaRusso and Lawrence. Who just doesn't love the Karate Kid? Of course, they did do a couple of other sequels, a remake with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. So, but nothing else ever beats the original Karate Kid big time. Now, obviously, I've never seen the film in theaters, but I actually did rewatch the film in theaters back in 2019, I believe, because they did a re-release of the film for its anniversary at the time, and the movie. Let me just tell you, it still holds up. So if you guys never seen the original Karate Kid, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's a classic. All right, also turning for we got the film Top Secret, which of course is a spoof of this of them spy genres and stuff. You of course have the always great Val Kilmer, who plays popular dashing American singer Nick Rivers, who travels to East Germany to perform at a music festival. And when he loses his heart to the gorgeous Hilary Fleming, played by Lucy Gutteridge, he finds himself caught in an underground resistance movement. Rivers joined forces with Agent Cedric, played by Omar Sharif, and Fleming to attempt the rescue of her father, Dr. Paul, played by Mike Go, from the Germans, who have captured the scientists. He hopes of incarcerating him like into the building of Nightfall Mines here. And this is a really classic one. Val Kilmer, of course, at the time was still like finding his own. Of course, this was before he became Batman. And Val Kilmer is excellent in this one. Micah Go was also great. It definitely has lots of laughs to it. Like the jokes in this would definitely not fly today, but it's a really good one if you guys never seen Top Secret. Right. Also turning 40, we got Rhinestone, which of course is the film starring that teams up Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton. If you guys don't know much about the story of this, trying to get out of her contract as a obnoxious manager, Freddie, played by Ron Liverman, country singer Jake Ferris, played by Dolly Parton, uh, best as she can, pretty much can turn the next person she sees is your natural star corner. Unfortunately, the next person she sees is cocky New York City cabbie Nick, played by Stallone, who can sing a note. Undaunted, she brings her new protege to her tiny Tennessee hometown uh, to train him in all things country, while her ex boyfriend, played by Tim Thomerson, tries to win her back. And this is a really dumb film, but it's a little bit more of a guilty pleasure. I mean, the chemistry between who would ever expect the chemistry between will ever see a chemistry between Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton? Like that's a really interesting chemistry to watch. Of course, at the time, Dolly Parton was really trying to get into the acting business after like being a singer and all. Of course, at the time, she was in 925 and many others, and she was actually pretty fine in this. And of course, Stallone was really trying to break out the Rocky and Rambo role. So seeing him he's always had some most oddest stuff he's done at the time, and this was definitely one of his most oddest. So yeah. Anyway, also turning 40, we got the Pope of Greenwich Village, which of course stars the likes of Mickey Rourke, Eric Roberts, Daryl Hannah, Burt Young. Speaking of Rocky, by the way. And the film focuses on two cousins who initially work as waiting staff in Greenwich Village. After getting fired, they orchestrate a safe cracking plot, which would allow them financially to support the pregnant girlfriend of one of them. Following the robbery, they seize that uh, uh, they just robbed a local mobster who starts pressuring them to repay them. And this is a really decent one, directed by Steven Rosenberg, Mickey Rourke. At the time, when he was really trying as an actor, he was pretty good in this one. Eric Roberts was pretty great. Not a bad little film if you guys haven't seen it. But that's pretty much it there. Let me let you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one is going to go to Sorry Think Like Man 2, but I'm going to go with Jersey Boys. The 20-year one is going to go to Dodgeball. The 30 one is, of course, going to The Lion King. And the 40-year one is going to The Cry Kid. Anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Suicide.